Welcome to Monarch of the Mat number 4. Tonight we will do the Elite 8. We'll have the quarterfinals and the semifinals and the finals of the entire tournament. We began this tournament in the spring quarter of this year. We have battled, we've watched many battles here on GSW programming over the past 13 weeks, and now we will find out who the Monarch of the Mat number 4 will be, joining Farmer Burns and Andre the Giant. Farmer Burns winning the second and third tournaments, and Andre winning the first over Hulk Hogan. So as you can see, I've been doing this a while. So we wish everybody a happy 4th of July weekend, and we will play our 11 matches out. Our first match almost getting ready to go. It's in the ring, and it's going to be for the Women's Championship. It's going to be Bull Nakano challenging Fabulous Moolah in a heel versus heel bout. One fall, 60-minute time limit. All our bouts tonight are going to have 60-minute time limits, except our final, which is going to be no DQ. Our Monarch on the Mat final, right before our world title match, will be no DQ, no time limit. And those two finalists we are yet to determine. We will play this women's bout out, then we're going to have the 4 quarterfinals. We have a World Tag Team title match between Ricky Steamboat and Jay Youngblood against the Von Brauners. That's going to decide the challenger for whoever the champs are. In Canada, if it is Steamboat and Youngblood, they will face the Kalmakoffs up in the Great White North. If it's the Von Brauners, it'll be the Hart Foundation. Then we'll come back, have our two semifinalists. The first and the fourth quarterfinal winners will meet. The second and third will meet in the first semifinal, and the first and the fourth will meet in the second. Jackie Pallo, again defending his junior heavyweight title against Danny Hodge. Then we come back with our no DQ, no time limit final, and then the big one, Dory Funk Jr. against the bulk of Andre the Giant. So, let's get our women's title match over and done with. Fabulous Moolah has got to be happy to be facing anybody but Mildred Burke, who she has faced many times, and they will meet again next week in week 27. Moolah is 4-6-2. Bull Nakano just defeated Mildred Burke to win this title shot here tonight. She is 5-1 on the year, most of her wins coming in the Belle of the Brawl tournament. So we'll get this underway. And the computer seems to like Moolah here. She has a slight advantage. In overall rank, she's about 17 points better. Bear hug right away from Nakano. That was kind of an interesting opening maneuver. And now a Boston Crab, but that's not going to score this early. Headlock countered by Moolah, who goes for a flying headbutt off the ropes. Unlikely that would score, and it did not. Side roll by Moolah. And then after, she'll go to the buffet table. No pin, no action, out of control loss. We go back to Nakano, tries a kick, it was countered. Body slam by Moolah, no pin. At the 3:11 mark, early on, Moolah in the lead in terms of damage. Legal throw by Nakano, power move by Nakano. It's trying to like pick a leader of a fight, and then the fighter that's behind lands a knockout, then it really doesn't matter who's ahead. Disqualified check, Nakano using punches. Nakano's probably going to try not to get DQ'd. Moolah not using her champion's advantage. The odds of a DQ were probably pretty high here. Arm hold, and then a drop kick by Moolah scores, auto control loss, and another. And Bull Nakano using punches outside the ring again. We're now almost at 7 minutes through the bout. About even, and a suplex by Bull Nakano, no pin. I like saying suplex. Somebody else used to like saying the word suplex, too. And you probably figured out who I'm talking about. Legal punches by Moolah. Pile driver by Moolah, no action. Punches by Moolah to avoid a DQ and a nerve hold. So now Moolah has built up a big lead. Not a big lead, but about a 30-point lead. At 9.5 minutes in almost, no action, submission move. DQ possible, and there's your match. Low blow. Well, that's not going to hurt a woman. I'm sorry, that's not going to hurt a woman. So Nakano did something nefarious. We'll just say she used a foreign object. You hit a woman in the nether legions, it's not going to hurt. There's an old Betty White. Betty White gets the credit for offering it, saying if you hit a man in the nether regions, yes, that's going. I'm cleaning up my language here. That if you hit a man in the nether regions, that's not going to hurt. But if you hit a woman in the nether regions, well, that part of the woman's body can take a pounding, so it's not going to hurt. So Nakano gets herself DQ'd, which means Moolah retains by a disqualification. And that will gain her 2 points in the rankings. 10:21 the time. And we'll just say that Nakano used a foreign object, and it was 37.67. And it got a 3-star rating, it just didn't last very long. So, folks, if you don't mind, I am going to set up the first quarterfinal bout of Monarch of the Mat. So stand by, please, and I'll talk to you while I set it up. Freddie Blassie was the only bad guy. Well, a couple of these guys could be bad guys when they want to be. But we will set up our first quarterfinal. A lot of people thinking Antonio Inoki is going to be Monarch of the Mat when all is said and done tonight. And that's not a bad guess, really. He is the highest surviving seed. We had a lot of surprises in the round of 16 that I did last week that you could catch here on the Big Paulie's World of Sports Sims channel. Monarch of the Mat's second round, because we had 18 qualifiers for the final stage. When we do Okerlund Cup, we're going to have 16, and that's a nice round number. So this will be one fall, 60 minutes in time. And if we have some sort of no contest or no winner, then what we will do, and my phone is ringing, and this is my... Get out of here. That's my cell phone, folks. So, it always puts me at a loss of word when my cell phone's ringing and it doesn't tell me who it is. Usually means it's somebody selling you a car warranty you probably don't need. So it is Antonio Inoki, it is Freddie Blassie getting ready to do battle. In our first quarterfinal bout, Blassie is trading off 3 holds, and that gives Inoki the right to trade off his. And it's no DQ. It is 60 minutes in time. Should we have a no winner, then the higher seed will advance. Coming into tonight's battle, Inoki is 7-2-1, and Blassie is 7-3-2, just upsetting Bruno Sammartino to make it to the Elite 8. And off we go with this one. Computer says Blassie has no chance. Okay, we will see. Whip to the ropes by Blassie starts us off. A body slam and no action. Illegal choking by Inoki of all people. You wouldn't think that necessarily. And especially match action, and that is Inoki clotheslining Blassie off the ring apron onto the arena floor. Punches by Inoki. Backdrop suplex countered. Throat chop by Blassie. Illegal choking. Pin attempt on Inoki. Does not score. And a shoulder block by Blassie. And now Inoki hits the ground hard. 10 points off. Body slam by Blassie. And Blassie has himself a bit of the lead at the 4-minute mark. Leg hold right back for Inoki, but an auto control loss, leading to no action by Blassie, and he goes for the Indian Deathlock, which does not score. Blassie has control, and he's stomping away repeatedly on Inoki. 15 more points off. Blassie had a slow start in his GSW career, but he has really caught steam, I would say, in the last 6 months to a year, and this Monarch of the Mat tournament has really helped him out. Also can compete as a junior heavyweight. Throat chop countered, whip to the ropes scores for Inoki, a body slam. Legal chop countered, and here comes Blassie with a top rope choke. That's 10 points off of Inoki's total. So Inoki still trailing a little bit in this batch. Neck hold by Blassie. Neck breaker is countered, and he was famous for that. Enziguri, which is that kick to the back of the head. That's countered. Legal knee by Blassie, and Inoki has a foot on the ropes. The ref isn't catching it. Nearly a pin, but we continue on. We're at 7:27 into this first of 4 quarterfinals, and Blassie leading at the moment, I guess you could say. Body slam by Blassie. Of course, you know, what counts is who gets the pin, not who's leading. Leg drop by Inoki. This could score. No. Forearm by Inoki. Kick by Inoki. And now Blassie has surrendered some pin attempts here. We're even at 2-2 on pin attempts, but Inoki just got 2 off in a row in bang-bang fashion. Legal forearm by Blassie, followed by a hair pull, a little yoink of the hair, no action. Legal headbutt by Inoki, and a hair pull by Antonio, the man who once faced Muhammad Ali. Headlock by Blassie. Blassie tries to hang Inoki over the top rope. And he applied pressure on the top 2 ropes, and finally The ref gets in there and salvages Inoki from the ropes, and now Blassie has opened up a big lead with that 30-point hit for Inoki. Into the banner goes Inoki, and that is the pin. And all the people that were thinking that Inoki was the upset, well, they just lost their money, as Freddie Blassie will advance to semifinal number 2. Blassie by pin, and Freddie Blassie is proving himself quite the contender. 11:52 ran Inoki into ringside banner. So I was 163 points off of Inoki and 67 off of Blassie. Blassie will be in good shape for the semifinal bout. So we're going to have the best case scenario. We have a 9 seed making it a 7 seed, making it all the way now, because the 4 seed is now gone. So the top 6 seeds are now out of the tournament. So Freddie Blassie will have a ranking of 141 in semifinal number 2. And with that, we are going to reset and get you set up for our second quarterfinal, which will be Wahoo McDaniel and Mitsuharu Misawa. I am not doing summaries on these matches until the matches are over with. So, let me see again. Okay. Wahoo will kind of be a tweener here because he was aggressive with Vern Gagne in that second round match, which he easily won. I don't think anybody was expecting Vern to win with such ease. Not going to make him a full-blown heel, but I'm going to make him a tweener, because he could probably explain in the Texas circuit later, well, I was just trying to win the tournament. It would be a reasonable explanation. Misawa is always a tough out. He does not really wrestle a lot as a single, although he's a brilliant single. He has an overall rating of 172, and Wahoo is 171, as you see here. And this is a no DQ 60-minute time limit. And neither man is a champion. But this is a big bout for both of them. Nothing to trade out. McDaniel 4-1-2, and Misawa is 6-1-0. So let's get this bout started. Too close to call. And the winner of this will go to semifinal number 1 and face the winner of Sting and Shinya Hashimoto. Headlock countered, and we are underway. McDaniel with a suplex, belly-to-belly suplex that lands for 11 points. Probably learned that from his battles with Magnum TA in the Mid-Atlantic region circa 1984. Sawa submission move counter, kick by Wahoo, legal chop by Wahoo, submission move, hair pull by Wahoo, and a throat chop. And yeah, Wahoo on the attack. Does the old leg smash into the ring post deal, and that's 15 more points. So Wahoo has opened up a lead. Countered by Wahoo. Submission move. Camel clutch scored by Misawa. Speed move by Misawa. Legal knee. Legal chop. Legal arm hold. So he's piling up points here with a series of moves, although Wahoo got off to a good start. Hair pull, oh, Wahoo's not going to like that. He never liked his hair being pulled. 4 points off of Wahoo's total. No action. Boston Crab by Wahoo. I don't know why I hit the submission. It's not likely to get one. In fact, there was no chance it would get one. Big chop, countered. Submission move, countered. Back to the big chop. No pin for Wahoo there. And that was the second pin attempt of the match, I do believe. The pin attempt will register on the next move. Misawa comes right back with a forearm. That does not score. Illegal punches by Wahoo and a suplex attempt. Legal choking by Wahoo. That does not score. Illegal turnbuckle move. And, Misawa caught him right back with a punch when the ref tried to separate the two. Hey, both these guys are competitive. They both want to win. No pin. Indian Deathlock. Legal forearm. Specialty match action. Jump from the ring apron to the arena floor by Wahoo. He's got a little more agility than I thought he had. Legal chop by Wahoo and another chop. Suplex attempt by McDaniel. No pin. Fifth pin attempt of the match. And Misawa showing, hey, I could break the rules with you too, buddy. And he's battering Wahoo around. That's 20 points off. We're at the 10:27 mark. Wahoo up about 80 points. And a flying knee drop from Misawa. And an Irish whip. Emerald Frozen. Had about a 50-50 chance. It had about a 42.5% chance of scoring the pin with that. It did not. Wahoo kicked out, and we continue on. Suplex attempt by Misawa, and now a legal chop. Illegal low blow countered, back to Wahoo. Back to Misawa with a throat chop. That was illegal. Suplex attempt countered. Back to Wahoo. A bear hug. That's not going to score. Legal chop. A body slam. Legal throw. Illegal throat chop. Illegal throat chop. Suplex attempt countered. Tiger driver gets him. And Misawa advances 15-43. Wahoo feeling the cobwebs a little bit. He raises up. He shakes Misawa's man. Like, good match, guys. There's Harry. That's the sound of Harry, my cat. And let's see here. It's Misawa by pin. And we give him... how many points for that? Oh, he gets 5. He gets 5 points. And the time of the fall was 15:43. Tiger driver, 137 off of Misawa. Wahoo, 187 off of Misawa. And the match got a 3.5 star rating. And I will do the summary of that later. We'll be right back. We're now ready for quarterfinal number 3, which will be Sting against Shinya Hashimoto. The winner will get Misawa, and he just won the last bout. You saw Misawa, by the way, his ranking now up to 133. So we'll see what happens in this bout between American Hero. He'll be a tweener in this bout because of his treatment of Magnum TA. And, of course, Hashimoto, also a fan favorite. He defeated Hulk Hogan in his last bout with a backdrop suplex about 3.5 minutes in. So off we go with this one. Sting and Shinya Hashimoto of Japan doing battle. Hashimoto undefeated so far in year 4, 6-0-1. Sting is 7-3. We count the match he had in the second round with Magnum TA as a loss, which was by DQ, but the bout was no DQ, so we just had them restart and have a rematch, immediate rematch, and Sting won that by pinfall. No action, because sometimes I make mistakes, and if you watch GSW long enough, you'll catch all of them. Legal chop by Sting, followed by a leg drop, and a neck hold, and another neck hold. And it looks like a sleeper hold being applied, but Hashimoto quickly aware of it and escapes. A legal arm hold by Sting, and no action. Sting using punches. Sting also, if there is a no contest, he advances, because he is the higher seed. Punches being used by Shinya, his first real movement of the match, and a legal throw, no pin. Arm drag takedown into an arm twist. No action. Punches by Shinya and a chop. No pin there. Ropes move by Shinya, and Sting with a spinning toe hold. I wonder who he learned that from, because usually submission moves are not in his repertoire. Suplex attempt by Sting. He gets him, but not on the 3 count. No pin. He got to a 2, but not to a 3. Sting letting Hashimoto pursue him, and that takes 6 more points off of Shinya's numbers. No DQ match, remember. And a chair shot by Sting. He's continuing his aggressiveness, and now Shinya wearing the claret a little bit. His cut damage is now 20 points, which you add to the stamina damage to get his total damage number. Auto control loss, a little bit of a lull in the action. Rolling reverse, no pin. This is the third of the 4 quarterfinals if you are just tuning to this spot of the stream. Whip to the ropes by Shinya and an arm hold and no action and no action. Kick by Shinya. Auto control loss back over to Sting, who lands some illegal punches, and the ref did a 5 count, and Sting stopped before the 5 count. So for a hero, he's being quite the villain. Scorpion death drop, no pin. And we're 9:48 into this bout. Arm hold. Whip to the ropes. Barrage of punches by the Stinger. And a leg hold. And illegal punches. Whip to the ropes by the Stinger. No action. A body scissors. Again, he's not usually known for his submission moves, so he's poorly executing them. Suplex attempt by Sting. Arm hold by Sting. No action. And Sting just stomping away on Hashimoto draped across the ring apron. And if you're wondering where we are on damage, Sting has a wide lead now of 140 points, plus the 20 in cuts that Hashimoto has endured. And he's piling on the points here with a suplex attempt and a drop to his knee, drop to Sting's knee for Hashimoto. That's more points damage. More points down the drain, and here comes Shinya with a legal throw. He's got to turn the match around a little bit here. Punches by Hashimoto, an illegal turnbuckle move by Sting, auto control loss, no action. We go back and forth for control, a body slam by the Stinger, and some fans cheering for Sting, and Hashimoto was like, what? What are you guys doing? He's been breaking the rules all match. 5 points off of Hashimoto's total. Choking by the Stinger and a throat chop. Ropes move countered. Hashimoto with a dangerous ADT, but Sting saw that coming. Suplex attempt countered. Throat chop by Shinya. That's 6 points off of the Stinger. And a chair shot back. A chair shot back by Hashimoto on the Stinger, onto his back, and that's a 15-point damage hit for Sting, but still Sting way ahead on the damage count. A legal chop by Shinya, followed by a submission move countered and a kick by Sting. Scorpion death drop countered. Legal throw was executed by Hashimoto and a throat chop. Sting grabbing the ringside bell. How uncouth. How unsportsmanlike. And that's no pin. Legal elbow by Hashimoto and a body slam. Legal knee. And that's it. Sting advances and wins 21 minutes and 20 seconds into quarterfinal number 3. And as you hear lawn mowing equipment in the background. For some unknown reason, my lawn crew, the crew that we have at the house, decided to do their work that they would normally do closer to the middle of the week, middle of the month on July 3rd. Maybe they're going on vacation. I don't know. And they didn't tell us. So 21-20, knee to the throat. (60/20) and 3.5 stars. So it was a good rated match. And Sting now faces Misawa as the second and the third quarterfinalists meet. Sting will now be up to 153 when he faces Misawa. So we have one more quarterfinal to decide, so stand by, everybody. We will get that going here in short order, unless it gets too noisy. I'm going to set it up here. We have Mexico against the United States in this one. And it's going to be Jack Sherry against El Koenig. And let's bring you back to the screen. There they are. Another no DQ bout, as all tournament bouts are, at least at this level. And one move to be altered by Sherry. Sherry, of course, won the North American title as a result of this tournament and lost it to Cowboy Bill Watts. He comes in 7-3-2, and El Koenig is 7-2-1. So we will put these two into action in our fourth quarterfinal bout. This is the fifth bout, and we will have our World Tag Team title bout after this. Punches used by Sherry to start us off in this bout. Legal throw by El Koenig. Fan interaction for El Koenig to wipe away. Actually, that puts him on the plus side of damage, which you very rarely see, and if you see it, it would be very early in a bout. So he is at +5, and Sherry right now at -4, but we're only a minute in. No action. Side roll by El Koenig, no pin. Body slam by Koenig is countered. Leg hold by Sherry, and no action. Illegal turnbuckle countered. Illegal punches by Sherry. No pin. Figure 4, that's not going to score because El Koenig's rating right now is 10-5-0. No action, no action. Specialty match action. Chair shot across the arm of Sherry, 15 points off. Sherry in control. Oh, a pile driver by Sherry. Where did he learn that move, being an old timer? And he had a chair underneath the on top of the arena floor, so that'll compress some vertebrae, and that's 30 points off of El Koenig. Both these guys want to go to the semifinals pretty bad because they're already throwing the rule book out the window. Illegal choking by Sherry, followed by illegal throw, low blow, which is always illegal. And Sherry piling up some moves. Koenig comes right back after a brief respite and goes for a body slam. And that's 10 points off. Whip to the ropes. Illegal punches. Legal throw. Fan interaction. Crowd behind El Koenig here in St. Louis. Kick countered. And a headlock by Sherry to slow the match down. Sherry, like I said, 73-2 this year. Really broke out during this Monarch of the Mat tournament, winning the North American title, holding it a while, and then losing it to Cowboy Watts. Legal speed move by Sherry. Countered. A counter, another counter. Half Nelson driver, but that was countered. Illegal turnbuckle move by Koenig. Headbutt by Sherry. Pile driver countered, and back to El Koenig with a double thrust to the throat. And that's 6 points off. Body slam by El Koenig. Then we'll check the status of the match. It is close. Sherry with a slight lead at this point. No action. We're at 11:29. A camel clutch. Well, that's not going to score. Auto control loss for Koenig. Seems to be a little overconfident. That's fine. Illegal punches by Sherry. Headlock by Jack Sherry. Pinhold countered. And we're in counters. That sleeper hold here for Koenig, but that has a very low odds of getting the submission, so we will play on. El Koenig has really risen up in the ranks in the Mexico City circuit as El Santo, who is, of course, one of the other great Masked Men, has fallen since he lost the World Junior Heavyweight title after holding it for over a year. Sherry has a very slight cut on his left eye after Sherry was blasted with a chair shot. Both these guys want to win this match. Koenig with a kick, headbutt by Koenig. Fan interaction, and again, even though Koenig's being more aggressive, the fans are going for it. Kick for El Koenig, no action. Legal throw by El Koenig, followed by a legal chop. And Koenig went postal on Sherry, gave him a facial to the post. 30 more points off of Sherry's total, and that cut has now deepened for Sherry. Koenig now up 100 points, and Carrick has a couple of cuts. Headlock by Sherry. Could be trouble for Sherry here if he doesn't right the ship rather soon. Spinning toe hold, but that's not a plausible submission move that will lead to a submission. Auto control loss. Back to Sherry with punches, illegal punches. A scissors hold. And Koenig had the wisdom to reach the ropes, so we continue on. We're at 17:02. Koenig leading by 70 points now. We've only had 4 pins in the bout. Koenig press backbreaker, so Koenig came right back. No pin, no action. Legal leg drop, no pin. Face rake by Koenig. A side roll for Sherry, that does not score. Inching up on the 20-minute mark now. Quick flying mare for El Koenig. Legal throw by El Koenig, a pile driver countered. Japanese leg hold. Well, I was not going to score a submission, so I don't even know why I tried it. Illegal throat chop for Sherry. Headlock. Legal throw. And now Sherry on a roll. Half Nelson driver. So he just put 4 moves together. Speed move by Sherry. Auto control loss. And we go back to El Koenig. El Koenig has been in control 41 times, and Sherry has been in control 33 times. Suplex attempt, ka-chunk, that scores. No action. Standing abdominal stretch, that is not going to get a pinfall because there's a 0 on the 3 count. Legal leg hold by Sherry, a headlock by Sherry, and now a body slam for El Koenig. So El Koenig came right back. Got an 8 on the 3 count, needed a 1, 2, or 3, oddly enough. 24-39 now into the bout. Koenig with a 62-point lead. Illegal choking for El Koenig, no pin. Illegal throat chop. Headlock by Sherry, followed by a no action and illegal choking for El Koenig. So times in control, I should point this stat out, is kind of like in football, time of possession. Could be a good indicator as to who's doing well in the match, and I generally ignore it until now. Kick by El Koenig, no action. Pin holds, a backslide by Sherry, but that does not score a pin. So we got a good match cracking here. Legal forearm by Sherry scores, and another, and a knee, and a illegal throat chop right back for El Koenig. And Koenig giving a whooping to Sherry all around ringside. That's 20 more points off. And that's 73 points in the lead now for El Koenig. Times in control. El Koenig at 50 and Sherry at 43. There have been 10 pin attempts, and El Koenig has had 6 of them. Legal forearm for El Koenig. Kick by El Koenig. Whip to the ropes by Koenig and a pin hold. Countered. Rope move countered for Sherry, so Sherry gets off a legal throw. No action. Auto control loss. Ropes move countered. Sunset flip. No pin. But another pin attempt. Series of punches for Sherry. This has been an excellent bout. Hope we should get at least a 4-star rating as far as I'm concerned. Small package, that does not get the 3 count. Figure 4 by Jack Sherry, followed by a speed move. Legal forearm, no pin there. And now Sherry has had 7 pin attempts to Elkanic's 6. Illegal turnbuckle move, followed by no action, and Elkanic landed a sucker punch on a break. Doesn't get the pin. Pile driver countered. Forearm by Sherry scores. Counter by Jack Sherry is countered. Body slam by Elkanic. No pin. Leg hold by Sherry. Legal arm hold by Sherry countered. Face rake countered. Leg hold scores. No action. Spinning toe hold, but not a possible submission there. Illegal punches by Sherry. A body slam countered for Sherry. Now ropes move by Elkanic, which was a flying headbutt. That does not get the pin done. Get the job done. We've had 16 pin attempts, but we haven't had a count of 3 yet. Damage is 280 off of Elkanic, 332. These two are going to be hurting whoever advances out of these two. They're not going to be doing, probably will not have an advantage going into the next bout. Because Freddie Blassie, who will be the opponent of whoever wins, had a pretty much an easy go of it with Inoki. Illegal choking by Sherry, a pin hold. 90% sure whoever wins this bout will be impaired in the next one because of the time the bout is taking. Auto control loss, auto control loss. Barrage of punches by Sherry outside the ring, and we are about to cross the 40-minute mark of this. We have 20 to go. If we have a time limit draw, Elkanic will advance. Sherry with a legal drop, and now Kanick hurls Sherry into the ring barrier. 40-15 now into the bout. The lead for Elkanic is only 38, and Sherry has a couple of slight cuts. Half Nelson driver, and there's your match. Sherry knew he had to turn it up a notch once the ring announcer announced that 40 minutes had expired, and right on cue, Sherry has won again. So Sherry will be going to the semis. And he will pick up 5 points for the win, being lesser ranked by 19 points. Driver. And we will now go to our World Tag Team Championship match. It is no DQ in this one. The Von Brauners wanted that step in. It was a 5-star match. I was saying earlier I thought it would be 4 stars at least. It got the full 5 stars. Excellent match between these two. And I will now set up the World Tag Team title bout. First I'm going to have to sneeze, which you won't hear. There we go. Had the funny feeling. This is live to tape, by the way. I'm recording this Eastern time. It's right about noon on July 3rd. So I'm trying to get this first part in, and then I will do the second half of the card probably sometime after 4 o'clock. Reason being, if I tried to do this live, we'd probably be inundated by fireworks. Even today being July the 3rd, I imagine there was going to be a bunch of them. So I'd be doing these matches and then boom, 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 you know. We got a lot of people here that love to shoot off their fireworks. So let's set this match up. It is the World Tag Team Champions, which are Jay Youngblood and Ricky Steamboat. In fact, I will show you my setup. I don't know why I do this. We'll face the Von Brauners. The Von Brauners are the international tag champs. So if they win, they will move up and be World Tag Team Champions, and we'll have to have a tournament to determine the, probably be a battle royal. We'll probably have a battle royal for the international tag tournament wherever it winds up on the schedule. Saul Weingroff is the manager of the Von Brauners. This is one fall, 60 minutes, and it is for the World Tag Team titles. And it is also no DQ. So this will be a fun bout. Of course, the champions have held the championship. I would have to say by now it's over 20 weeks, like 22 weeks or so. I don't have my my records pulled up at this moment. I'm just guessing offhand they have been champs most of the year. It's the longest World Tag Team title reign in GSW history. Usually it's a very volatile title with multiple contenders and multiple champs, and the champs usually switch back and forth. So the champs, Jay Youngblood, Ricky Steamboat, 11-5-4. The Von Brauners as international tag team titles champions are 4-5-2. If the Von Brauners win, then we have a 16-team tournament to determine, not a tournament, but a battle royal to determine the next champs, and that will be during the week. I don't know where the international tag team champions will be defending their belts in. It'll either be Canada, New York, Atlanta, or Knoxville. Let's just put it to you that way. So, yeah. Do I have everything set up? I do. Let's ring the bell. This is for your World Tag Team titles. Von Brauners against Youngblood and Steamboat. And the champs start out with speed, and they reduce the Von Brauners 7 points right off the bat. You'll see much more damage in these matches. They don't usually go to time limit. Kick by the Von Brauners. And double teaming by the Von Brauners. That gives them 35 quick points off of the champs total, and a whip to the ropes. More double teaming. Suplex attempt scores. Arm hold countered. Elbow by the champs. No action. Choking by the challengers, who are the international tag title holders at this moment. So it's champion versus champion, but it is just for the World Tag Team titles. Illegal throat chop by the Von Brauners, followed by illegal choking. No action. Legal chop by Youngblood and Steamboat. And an auto control loss. We go back to the champions, who fire some illegal punches out. Auto control loss. We go right back to the challengers. A kick. They have been in control 11 times in 5 minutes, and the champs have only been in control 8. And so far on damage, the Von Brauners have a pretty sizable lead. 15 more off on a double team attempt. And some countering going on in that last exchange. We go to the champs. Legal chop. No pin. Suplex attempt by Youngblood and Steamboat. No pin. They pile up a few points there, but they're still a little bit behind. Legal elbow by the champs. And a submission move. Does not get a submission, just whacks a few more points off of the Von Brauners total. Kick by the Von Brauners. Double team attempt was countered. Arm hold by the champs. So we're 7:42 in, and right now the challengers with a 63-point lead. But in a tag team contest, points can fluctuate quickly. The damage points can fluctuate. And right there is an example of that. That's a 35-point double team. And the challengers lose that many points, and now it's a much closer match. Body slam by Youngblood and Steamboat. Auto control loss. Von Brauners using punches. Slam over the knee. No pin. It was had a 13-40 chance of scoring, so that would have been, okay, let me do my math real quick. That would have been 32.5% chance of getting the pin there. Strategy card used and countered. And, oh, Youngblood and Steamboat caught the Von Brauners with a pile driver, and they have been cut open. The challengers have been cut open. You could tell right away with those bald heads that they're wearing a little bit of claret right now. So that's a big move, 70-point swing. And now the champs are up 45 points on damage. More double teaming by the champs. Flying drop kick, but that did not lead to a pin. Legal throw. Suplex attempt scores. Ka-chunk. And there's the body slam and body press combination, but the Von Brauners just make it to the ropes. And this bout continues on. No action. Face rake by the Von Brauners. Definitely want to try to regroup after that barrage of holds. Flying body press by the champs. No pin. We're 13:09 in, and now the champs have a 112-point damage lead. And the Von Brauners have a sizable cut. 15 points off on a double team, and another 25. So the Von Brauners really taking a beating right now. Chair shots. And they're using tables and anything else they can get their hands on. So the Von Brauners really taking a pounding here. Headlock by the champs. And after those last moves, the headlock just seems like a little tap on the head. And double teaming by the challengers finally. And another double team. No pin. They do a double backdrop on... looked like it was Steamboat. Another double team attempt. Which scores. And the double teams, like I said, changes the complexion of the match quickly at times. Illegal punches by the Von Brauners, no action. Ropes move was countered. Illegal punches again by the challengers, who are the international tag champs. And a face rake was countered. We go back to the champs, and they give the Von Brauners a facial, and they are busted open even more. 22 more points, and we're in that territory where the match could be stopped. 62 points in cut, and at 16:33 into the bout, they have a 144-point lead due to the champs. Turnbuckle, 5 more points. Illegal throws, 6 more points. Leg drop. Doesn't get the pin. Small package. No pin, but it was an 8 on when they needed a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, which would have been about 12.5% chance of getting it. Headlock by the champs. Double team attempts. Punches by the champs, and more punches, and moves countered, which gives the challengers a shot at it. Illegal punches. Legal forearm by the Von Brauners. Legal chop by the Von Brauners. Arm holds used by the champs to try to slow the pace down. We're 21 minutes in, and right now the Von Brauners trailing by 184 points and 62 on cuts. Suplex attempt scores, and an illegal chop. Body slam countered, pile driver countered, another chop for the champs, and that's 7 more points off. Lead now over 200 points at 208. Body slam by the champs. Von Brauners may be in trouble, although they get a double team going. That's 15 points off. I'm sure these two teams will be very prominent in the Okerlund Cup that'll be coming in the third quarter of this year, year 4. For an object attempt, but the move was countered by the champs, who are on fire at the moment, whipped to the ropes, more double teaming. Fan interaction, which frustrates the Von Brauners. They almost have half the damage that the Von Brauners have taken. In fact, they have just crossed that barrier. Roll up. Pin, and that's your match. So the champions, the team of Jay Youngblood and Ricky Steamboat, with an impressive demonstration here. And you could make that argument. They have been World Tag Team Champions now, I think, 4 times. And this has by far been their longest reign. So Steamboat and Youngblood will retain by pinfall. As soon as I find... Okay, that's it. In. And that will give them 3 more points. Time of the fall was 24-44. And they win it on a roll-up. And we will say it was Youngblood over Kurt with a roll-up. I do a eedy, meeny, miny, mo system here. And I take the damage number, which was 240 on Steamboat and Youngblood. And if it's an odd number, then I use the first guy, the guy in the first part of the photo on the left side. And if it's an even number, I use the guy on the right side. So I say Youngblood gets the pins over Kurt with a roll-up, and the crowd went wild, and as Jim Cornette would say, babies went into the air. 240, and the Von Brauners were very sad citizens in this match. 4.5 stars it got. So I hope you're ready for the semifinals of Monarch of the Mat, because they are coming up right after this. And we're ready to go, our second half of this Supercard. And with the semifinals of Monarch of the Mat, it's going to be Mitsuharu Misawa against Sting in this semifinal number 1. And then after that, we'll have Freddie Blassie and Jack Sherry do battle in semifinal number 2. The highest seed we have left right now is Sting, who is number 7. So we've had a lot of upsets in this final stage, but I think it's a testament to the talent this final stage has produced. And yeah, we're just at bell time right now. Misawa now 7-1 and Sting at 8-3. Should be a very close match. If we go to a draw or we have some other non-winning result, Sting will advance to the finals. And off we go. Auto control loss right away from Misawa. The fans Sting's kind of a tweener here because he has been aggressive in these last few bouts, and there is a rooting section for Sting here at the Checker Dome in St. Louis. A body slam counter. We go to Misawa, who gets a backslide. Might be a little too early for that, and it shows as Sting kicks out at 2. Body slam for Misawa. Sting hit the canvas rather hard, and Sting was hurled into the ring barrier for a 15-point loss. I think these guys are going to let it all hang out, and why wouldn't you with the prestigious Monarch of the Mat championship at stake for the winner. Chop by Misawa. And the referee, seeing some characters we do not recognize, is banished everybody from ringside except the 2 combatants. The commentators can stay. Pinhold countered, whipped to the ropes by Sting, and flying shoulder block for Sting. No pin. This is a high-stakes match, of course. And Sting threw Misawa out of the ring for a 10-point loss in damage. We're very, very close right now on the damage count, 29-28. Minus 29 to minus 28. Whipped to the ropes by the Stinger and a kick, followed by another. Body press by Stinger, no pin. Body slam by Misawa. That does not score. The all-important pin and auto control loss. We go back to Sting with an illegal throat chop. There he goes, throwing caution to the wind again, as we have seen in his last 2 bouts. Actually, the next to last bout they had was actually 2 bouts. Tiger Suplex countered. That's what Misawa used to beat Wahoo in the quarterfinals. Power move by Sting and punches by Sting, followed up by a headlock and illegal punches and some more. And oh, Sting has used a foreign object here, it appears. Spiked chain, and he drilled Misawa with it. Whew. Well, he's going to have to explain this to his fans in the newly merged Atlanta circuit. Atlanta and Charlotte merging, and Knoxville bought up the space that was emptied out. Power move by Sting, chop by Sting, and Misawa comes right back and hurls Sting into the ring barrier again. A 15-point hit. 8:44 into the bout. Sting has opened up a bit of a lead. Flying leg drop, but Sting found the ropes for the 3 count. And Misawa now getting some fan support. Ropes move countered by Sting, who uses illegal punches and a speed move, a drop kick out of nowhere. No pin. And no action, so we go back to Misawa, fan interaction. Sting has been in control 9 more times early in this bout than Misawa has, and auto control lost back to Sting with a kick. So Sting looking to make the finals. All 4 men left in the tournament have never made a Monarch of the Mat finals, much less won the championship. Forearm blast for Misawa, no pin. We're 12:05 into the bout now. It's a suplex attempt by Misawa. He lands it, 11 points. Pile driver by Misawa. He is not playing around. No pin. A kick by Misawa. And a Cobra hold, but that will not likely get the desired result of a submission. So we play on. Auto control lost Sting. Pin hold, a side roll by Misawa. That does not get it done. A legal knee by Misawa. Reverse pile driver for Sting. Not for Misawa. No pin. And on we go. I was just checking results there for a minute. Make sure I did not make an error. Sting, especially match action. Oh, leg around the ring post. Instead of the old face first move to the ring post. And Sting punishing Misawa with a series of punches. It's countered and a low blow right back for Misawa. Saying, hey, you want to play dirty? So will I. Illegal punches countered. Arm hold countered. Bit of a Boston Crab by Misawa, but that's not likely to score the submission, so we ignore it and cancel it. Kick by Misawa. Another drop kick by Sting, and Misawa comes right back and stomps Sting from the ring apron, not allowing him to re-enter the ring. Tiger suplex. Oh, an 18, needing an 11 or less on the 3 count, so we move on. Arm hold by Misawa. And a body scissors, but that will not likely score the submission, so we play on. We have had 13 pin attempts in the match so far, and Misawa has 13 of them. He's been in control 33 times right now. The Sting's 30. A couple of no actions in the third, and a claw-like hold. That will not likely get the submission. Legal throw by Misawa, followed up by a sleeper hold, but again, that's not likely to get it done. Sting comes right back, a legal forearm at the 20-minute mark. And Sting leading now by 58 points worth of damage. Body slam countered by Misawa, who goes into an arm hold. Illegal punches by Misawa. Not likely to get the pin, and it does not. His 11th pin attempt. Now he's going for his 12th with a drop kick. Almost got it. Almost got it. Needed a 1 or a 2. He got a 5. Whip to the ropes by Misawa. No action. Fan interaction. And Misawa lost concentration, and Sting was able to get a move in. Tiger suplex. That's your match, folks. Misawa has defeated Sting in 23-10, a 4-star match, which is going to net Misawa another 6 points and will make him. He did not win the Japanese tournament. He won the London tournament to make it to the final stage, and now he is one of the final 2. So that's a 6-point, 20-point differential. So that would be a 6-point pickup for Misawa at the time of 23-10, and a Tiger suplex. It was a Tiger driver that did in Wahoo McDaniel, but it was a Tiger suplex that does in Sting. Match got a 4-star rating, so we've already had in this Supercard a match with 4 stars, a match with 4.5, and a match with 5. And the 5-star match was the Koenig and Sherry quarterfinal. Sherry is going to be impaired. He spent 41.06 in the ring, and Blassie only spent 11.52. Sherry bled in the bout, so that would be another reason why he is impaired. And we're going to set that match up. So we're going to put up the... I'll just leave it on. I'll just leave it on and I'll show you what I'm doing here. So it's Blassie and Sherry in semifinal number 2. And we should note that as I set this up, Misawa is the 14 seed and he made it to the final. And his ranking points for the final will be 139. And it'll either be Misawa and Blassie, or it will be Misawa and Jack Sherry. Either way, we're going to have a very worthy champion here of this Monarch of the Mat tournament. So, yeah, well, I was in the right place to begin with. You know how often in life you don't realize you're in the right place until you're in the right place? Or you're in the wrong place and, oh, I was just there. That was right. Okay, so it's Blassie, and Sherry was not a shooter, but he was considered kind of at that level where he kind of like an American Bert Azarati, where he could shoot and he didn't mind breaking bones of his adversary. So Sherry will be impaired for this no DQ match due to being in the ring over 40 minutes. So we'll set the injured wrestler as Sherry, and we'll have our second semifinal right now. And Blassie's going to use a lot of holds to try to get a better shot at Sherry. Blassie they're each 8-3 and 2 over 13 bouts. And off we go with semifinal number 2. Winner will get Misawa in the final, which will be right after our next bout, which will be for the World Junior Heavyweight Championship. A knee by Blassie to start us off in a no action, and Sherry comes right back with an eye gouge. And Sherry mauling Blassie in the corner and a legal chop. Blassie comes right back and is choking Jack Sherry as he tries to enter the ring. A kick by Blassie. Boy, when you put these two in a no DQ match, you don't know what will happen. Kick by Blassie. Down the stretch, not likely to get the submission. Small package by Sherry. No pin. Remember, Sherry is impaired for this bout and would be impaired if he goes to the final on the basis of the fact that he was cut in the first bout. Throat chop countered. Supplé attempt countered. Choking by Blassie. No pin. Forearm by Blassie, followed by a pile driver. Illegal pin attempt, and the ref spots it. We play on. And Sherry has thrown, Blassie has thrown Sherry out to the arena floor, and he's punching and he's kicking away all around ringside area. So Blassie has opened up a good lead. Forearm by Sherry, trying to come back a little bit. We're at the 6:57 mark. Moves being countered. A headlock by Sherry, and illegal punches being scored. No action. Submission move. Spinning toe hold. That's not likely to get a submission this early. And a legal throw by Sherry, followed by illegal punches a couple of times. And Sherry is leaving the ring, and that increases his stamina by 10. And right now it's a very close contest at the 8:55 mark. Sherry is only down on damage, 22 points. Eye gouge by Sherry, followed by illegal punches. He's not afraid to play dirty, as we saw in the quarterfinal. A body slam, no pin. Leg hold by Sherry scores, as does a flying forearm. 9 points off. A headlock by Sherry. Headlock countered. Neckbreaker countered. Illegal punches by Sherry score. Auto control loss. And again, he's Blassie through to the Sherry to the arena floor, and Sherry has a rather nasty cut now on the forehead. And that's 40 off in cuts. Remember, he lost 14 on cuts in the first bout. So if Sherry advances, he's going to be a sad citizen going into the final. A kick by Blassie. Auto control lost back to Sherry with an arm hold. Sherry's been in control 27 times already to Blassie's 17. Legal forearm, no pin. Neckbreaker countered by Sherry, and Sherry follows up with an arm hold. So Sherry is cut, and the cut is significant with 40 points off of his cut number. Blassie leading by about 30 some odd points right now. Submission move, sleeper hold, that's not going to get it done. Neither will an abdominal stretch unless the move has a little more oomph in it. It's not going to score a submission. Double wrist lock pin is countered by Blassie very smartly. Hair pull by Blassie. And again, Blassie battering Sherry outside the ring. Another 30-point score off of Sherry's total. No action, auto control loss, ropes move, submission move countered, and illegal punches by Sherry finally, and choking. Sherry down about 50 points at the 16-minute mark. A legal throw by Sherry, no pin. Half Nelson driver, and Jack Sherry did not advance. Blassie used his wisdom to get to the ropes, and very fortunately so for him, as it looked like he was beat right there. Legal throat chop by Blassie. Arm hold by Sherry, and a legal forearm. Speed move. Leg hold. Arm hold. No action. And Sherry has Blassie in an arm breaker, but not enough to get a submission attempt or anything close to it. Auto control loss, we go back to Blassie. And one of the wrestlers in the back has come out and grabbed the chair. Body slam by Blassie. Nope. Got a 9 on the 3 count. He needed a 1, 2, or 3. Headlock by Blassie. Punches by Jack Sherry. And Blassie has been hurled over the ringside barrier into the crowd at ringside. Blassie is in bad shape. Sherry covers him. And Jack Sherry has advanced to the final, although he will not be in good shape for it. Sherry has defeated Freddie Blassie in this semifinal number 2. Sherry by pin, which will get him 4 points. 22-31. Blassie hurled to the ringside barrier, but had nothing left. So it was 232 off of Blassie. Blassie lost the damage war, but Sherry is cut, and he will be at a disadvantage when we go to the final bout, which will be right after this bout. So we had a 14 seed and a 16 seed each make the final. And now we will move on to bout number 9. It's going to be Danny Hodge against Jackie Pallo for the junior heavyweight title. Need to look up the European folder. There we go. And it's going to be Pallo against Danny Hodge, who was a World Junior Heavyweight Champion in GSW before. And this time, Pallo is going to defend the title, which means he could use some extra heel tactics in this bout. And we go one fall, a 60-minute time limit. And then we get to our final, and then we get to our very big main event, not Hulk Hogan, but Dory Funk Jr. against Andre the Giant. So it looks like I'm set up okay. Paolo defending the title, which just means he will get to use some extra tactics. Paolo comes in 4-4-2. Hodge has had an interesting year. He has won 7, lost 3, and he has had 7 draws. So we'll see what happens here. They had a bout in Texas a couple weeks ago, and Paolo was able to get out of Texas with the title intact. I think he was badly overmatched by Hodge, but Hodge just couldn't get the pin on him, and Paolo, I think, DQ'd himself to keep the title or something like that. So here we go, bout number 9 on this Monarch of the Mat card. Happy 4th of July weekend, everybody. And off we go. An auto control loss starts our bout. And Hodge comes out firing with a supplé attempt. Auto control loss. Kick by Paolo, countered. Body slam by Hodge. And this is pretty much how the first bout between these two went. Auto control loss for Paolo. We go back to Hodge. Oh. Hodge runs Jackie Paolo into the ring barrier and quickly climbs back in the ring. And Paolo is counted out, but that's not going to change the title. Paolo will retain. Hodge will win by countout. He won't pick up any points for it. And this is really bad news for Jack Sherry because the bout only took 2 minutes and 16 seconds. And 18-0. So Paolo will hit the road. Might be facing Jackie Paolo again. We do not know. We know Antonio Inoki will be in Knoxville for the premier card there, and he will be battling whoever wins between Andre and Dory Funk Jr. for the championship. And that will be on our next Grand Slam Saturday, which will be on 7 o'clock on July 10th, Lord willing, and if the creek does not rise. So Paolo will retain the title to 16. I think he's kept the title a lot longer than most people thought he would. And Hodge will remain a serious contender for the World Junior Heavyweight Championship. And Hodge is out of the Texas circuit. And I think it's very likely we'll see Hodge try to lobby and get a match with Paolo again. So we head to our Monarch of the Mat Championship. And what a tournament this has been. Every member of GSW, either by Battle Royal or by tournament, if their ratings were high enough, had a chance at this, and it has come down to 2 men. As we have been having elimination matches now for the entire quarter. The Okerlund Cup, by the way, will not be that big a tournament. We'll take a week off on week 27, and we'll start that week 28. But that will not take as much time, nor will there be as many matches in Okerlund Cup than there is in Monarch of the Mat. There are 99 teams that we know of right now that will be competing. I'm hearing word that a few other teams may be formed because there are combinations of wrestlers that could form a tag team. For instance, I'm hearing rumors that Dick Murdoch and Dick Slater might form up their team of the Hardliners and compete in the Okerlund Cup tournament. And we're hearing other rumors too. Jesse Ventura and Adrian Adonis perhaps might team up and reform their East-West connection. But we now head to the Monarch of the Mat Championship. This is no time limit and no DQ. You can lose on cuts, but there is no time limit in this bout. Sherry has had 2 matches where he has been cut. And he'll be a tweener here, I would think. And let's see, it's no DQ, no time limit. And Sherry will be impaired. He will be set as injured for the final because of his blood loss. And there are other determining factors in tournaments. When I decide who's impaired and who's not, I look at the total time they have spent in the ring and the total damage. And if one man has double the damage of the lower man who in terms of ring time or damage, then I give him an impairment on that. So this is it, our championship final. Misawa coming in 8-1, and Sherry is 9-3-2 as this final match takes place. No time limit, no DQ. And this looks like it's going to be a match that not even the computers of Wrestling's Finest Version 3. Greetings to Tom Vogel once again, by the way, as we get ready to start this Monarch of the Mat Championship match. A legal throat chop by Sherry. Auto control loss. A whip to the ropes by Misawa. No pin. We're early yet. Both these men have competed twice already on the card. Misawa with a legal knee. And Misawa throws Sherry face first. A facial into the ring post. And you don't want to be throwing him in there too many times because that'll likely open up his cuts again. This time it did not. Misawa using punches. And a sleeper hold by Sherry, no pin. Neck hold by Sherry on the Misawa, cranking that in good, and that's 5 more points. Legal throw by Sherry. Submission move countered, and a kick by Misawa. Legal throw by Misawa. Side roll, no pin. We are 3:27 into the final, and Misawa seems to have a little bit of a lead here on damage. Speed move by Sherry. And outside help. And oh my goodness, Misawa is cut. Misawa is cut, and who has helped break? It is John Pezic who has come to ringside. The former 2-time world champion has come to ringside, and he has helped Jack Sherry, much to the surprise of many here. Pezic was said to have been retired. He gave up his world title, but for some reason he has shown up in St. Louis here tonight, and Misawa now all of a sudden is in deep trouble. 40 points off on cuts, and his damage skyrockets to 92. Full Nelson, but that's not going to score the submission that early. And, oh, Misawa has returned the favor. He's battering Sherry outside the ring with chairs, tables, and anything he can get his hands on. And now Sherry is cut open again. And that's a big move. Emerald Frozen countered by Sherry. He saw that move probably in films or on tape or on hard drive a few times. Face rake by Sherry. Leg hold by Sherry. No action. Illegal choking by Misawa, countered. Legal elbow by Sherry, no pin. So we're 6 minutes in. Both men are cut. What they call a double juicer. And submission move by Sherry, which will not be counted because there was no way it could get done. Biting by Misawa, arm hold by Misawa, forearm by Misawa. And a standing abdominal stretch is not going to stick. Body slam by Misawa, no pin. Misawa with control. Emerald Frozen. By the way, the first card I did on GSW was a year ago, and it was Monarch of the Mat 3. I think Andre the Giant made the finals but lost to Farmer Burns. A face rake by Sherry. Legal throw, Sherry countered. Misawa with a flying forearm. And that does not result in a pin. Misawa with a slight lead at the 10-minute mark. And the times in control stat is just about that even. Misawa 16 times and Sherry 17 times. A kick by Misawa. Followed with a whip to the ropes and a knee to the midsection. Forearm to the nose by Misawa. Ooh, that's got to hurt. And he got the pin. Misawa is the Monarch of the Mat. Misawa has, against the odds, won Monarch of the Mat after John Pezic came in and interfered in the bout, and not even that could stop Misawa. So Misawa by pin, he will pick up 4 points, but more importantly, he is your new Monarch of the Mat. Four points to the good. The time was only 10:54, and you don't blame these men for having a short bout, especially considering the punishment Sherry took. Sherry holding his nose with that forearm shot. And he has been battered silly in these 3 bouts that he has had. So it was 121.40 off of Misawa and 166.22 off of Sherry. And Mitsuharu Misawa is your brand new Monarch of the Mat. The 4th Monarch of the Mat in GSW history. Well, that takes us to the big one, our championship match, which we will be setting up for you. It's going to be Dory Funk Jr. and Andre the Giant. And then we had this match a few weeks back on Grand Slam Saturday, I do believe. Of course, with Andre's size, he is a threat to beat anybody. He's a 211 face. And on the champion's number, champion set, Dory is a 232 heel. So this will be for the world title. I think Dory doesn't usually do this, but I think this will be defend the title as opposed to just your normal classic match. Dory is usually cocky enough to think he could beat anybody, but he ain't no fool. He might have been born at night, but he wasn't born last night. So he'll use the defend the title tactics and try to get out with his title. Of course, Andre was a mountain of a man. Said to be 7'5", but I've heard reports that he had a smaller height of 6'11", but 6'11" is still a very tall and powerful dude. So the maneuvers have been set up. Dory is 12, 3, and 6 going into this one. Andre 10, 3, and 3. Greg Valentine put a blemish on Andre's record with that double DQ in the Carolinas. By the way, we no longer will have touring wrestlers as we go into the 3rd quarter of year 4 in GSW, because I like to mix things up from time to time. So Andre will be in the London circuit. Antonino Rocca goes to the Chicago circuit, and the Road Warriors are going to be in San Juan. And they will be mixed and mashed. We'll have a whole bunch of free agents, as there will be a 16 single roster limit and 4 tag teams. So you'll have a whole bunch of free agents, and I'll tell you more about the system that I'm using next week on Grand Slam Saturday. So I do believe we set up the trading of holds, which we have. Okay, let's do our match. Computer thinks Dory will win. They did meet in Chicago, I believe it was, a few weeks ago, and Dory was able to retain his title. Then he's just had a couple of very tough challenges against Lou Thez on our lead-up shows to this Monarch of the Mat final. And he just lost to Superstar Billy Graham, too, via a technicality. A chop by Dory starts us off, and a neck hold. Surprised Dory could get up there and get a hold of Andre's neck. Disqualify, check stopped. A kick by Dory. And Dory is off to a good start. Legal forearm, no pin. Both these men are going to be hard to pin. Dory has a 9.61 pin rating, and Andre is at 16, 8, and 1. Hair pull on Andre. Legal punches. He's like throwing the rule book out the window already. Andre Giant seemed to have control but lost it, but so did Dory. So we go back to Andre. Oh, we're done already. We're done already. Andre nailed Dory with a chair after all those illegal tactics were used, and Andre easily enters and beats the 10 count. Dory, either he's knocked out or he acts like he's knocked out. Andre wins by count out, but it's Dory Funk Jr. who once again will keep his title, and he'll go into his 20th week as champion. Andre will pick up 3 points and go to 154. And the time of the match was 3:02. Well, that didn't last long, did it? Andre just got frustrated and had no intentions upon winning the title. He just wanted to conk Dory out. And that's how this is going to end. So, the fans in St. Louis will leave happy, but Dory Funk Jr. will remain your world champion as we enter the third quarter of year number 4. This has been Big Paulie coming to you. We'll be back next week with Grand Slam Saturday and show you the first matches of the third quarter of the year. A happy 4th of July to you all in the terms of real time as I record this on July 3rd, 2021. So I wish you all a happy 4th. Stay safe and stay sober, if that's what you're inclined to do. Godspeed and God bless. We'll do it all again next week, 7 o'clock. Bye-bye for now, everybody.